All right. I have not done this in a while, so who knows if it's even working. I'm working on this Ogre illustration, just a personal piece. And yeah, I'm just sorting out bugs. Check the stream later and see how the audio is and all that. And right now I'm just going to work on some easy bits. This foreground foliage. Already put a considerable amount of work into this illustration, as you can tell. Probably around the 70% mark or something like that. Yeah, I don't know who will possibly get an alert for this. I didn't announce it on Instagram or anything like that. Started streaming on a whim tonight and try to get comfortable with it again. We'll see if habit sticks this time and I keep it up. I like doing it. I like chatting with people as I'm drawing, answering questions. It's more informal than like making a video where I'm trying to explain some concept that I don't know, never feel totally qualified to like really teach anything. But if people have questions about what I'm doing, I love answering them. Right, I'm rendering into the far corner here, and it's going to be cast in shadow. And I don't want to draw too much attention to it. I'm already putting too much detail. Just kind of want to imply some vines and stuff here without going overboard. It's a bit of a problem I have with the style. I'm zoomed in a lot and putting a lot of detail everywhere that it doesn't need sometimes. And it's like I know I'm doing it and I shouldn't, but can't help myself. It's a weird problem. I guess I want like every inch of my illustrations to look awesome, but for a piece of art to look really good, there needs to be quiet areas in it, little areas where the eye rests a little. Can't have everything on the page fighting for attention the same amount. I know these things, but it's hard to put them into practice sometimes. So my tablet down here is often zoomed in way too much. Partly because of what I was just talking about, and partly because I'm getting older and my eyes are bad. But the monitor up here is basically the same image at a different zoom level, so I can kind of, at a glance, see how the marks I'm making are affecting it on a larger scale. And you can tell in the top corner of this stream, there's my navigator window, and that little red box I can't really point to it, but you're right there. That's how far I'm zoomed in. The little red box is showing the entirety of this screen right here. I think I'm almost done this whole foreground section, at least in terms of the line work. So I'm gonna do a series of illustrations that are all sort of green tinted with little red accents, and I'm drawing them basically in black and white with I just got a color filter on top that makes it green. I like doing things in full color, but I'm definitely more comfortable in black and white, and this is a nice little way to work in black and white, but have a little bit of best of both worlds, I guess. So yeah, basically the layer that's on top that's adjusting everything into the green is called what, what do we call it? Gradient map. It's in Photoshop. I'm sure it's in other art programs too. But you basically take the value scale from black to white, and then you tell it, well, everything that's this level of gray, I want to make it blue, for example. But if it gets darker, then I want it to go into this, deep red or something like that. You can do tons of stuff with it. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but it's worth looking into. It's a fun way to colorize your black and white art, or at least get a good start on it, on the coloring process. Yeah, I keep these marks real soft, and I blend them out pretty good. Already got the line work and like the sort of the rough sketch, doing all the heavy lifting in terms of like modeling and the indicating the form. I'm just kind of trying to use a little bit of value to pop things out without distracting from the line work. Setting some little highlights. Trying to decide how far I want to go with this in this particular area. Like I was saying before, I don't want to draw the eye to this part too much, but at the same time, if your eye goes this way, I want it to find some cool little doodads. Getting some sharper highlight spots. I'm trying to think. I want this vine covered rock or whatever it is to look moist. Everything should be wet. We're in a swamp environment. Very damp, very dank. I'm gonna try to lighten up these leaves area, this area here, just so that I can it'll push the rock forward in space a little bit. That's the plan, anyways. We'll see how it looks. Use a soft airbrush and make it 0.2%. Go real subtle with this. Just trying to think about what areas are lighter in local value and where they might catch the light a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm lazy or just my comfort zone, but I usually have real simple lighting schemes. You know, in this one, everything will be backlit, a lot of light bleeding in through that doorway. But other than that, it's just kind of like top front lit with a secondary little light source. Gives me a lot of freedom to just light up things in a way that looks cool. You know, doesn't need to be to match any actual lights that are on the image or anything like that. Just like to make sure it's readable and looks reasonable. You know, guess I'm aiming for semi-realism, but I'm okay with missing the mark as long as it looks cool. These edge highlights might be a little sharp. We'll see. Leave them for now, and if my eye keeps getting hung up on them, I'll knock them back. Do a few more minutes of this, and then I'll move on to the Ogre. A little bit tedious, this whole rendering process, so I like to jump around and keep myself interested more by doing that. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but plan is keep doing this, get in the habit, see if anybody shows up at some point, or at least watches the we call them the VODs afterwards, and eventually lock myself into like a schedule so people know when I'm going live and they can come hang out. It's enough hammering on the extreme foreground. What? Maybe I'll finish up his hands. Got a lot of layers here that are managing everything, so I just need a moment to figure out where things are. Green off the ogre. Some white to block it all out. Just so I can see the line work. And here's my line. It's my texture. Excuse me. Yeah, rough everything in with this soft kind of smudgy pencil brush. I like to think of it as the part where in a traditional pencil drawing you'd be using like the side of your pencil more. pan over, see how I render the warts on his face. I believe there are a few. Just want to make sure. I'm zoomed in so much. Sometimes there's like some sort of stylistic drift from one section to the other because I'm not looking at it all at the same time. Stylistic drift. That's a cool band name that's up for grabs. I think this hand's basically done. Just gonna find the form of these fingers a little. Okay. It's I use the lasso or the magic wand tool sometimes. People always ask me why I don't use it more. I just find it tricky because like the way I draw these things, like it's not quite like a comic book page where all the lines are pure black and sharp. And the paint bucket tool works really well. Like I got a lot of soft lines here, a lot of things that don't connect. And I don't know. I like doing this for some reason. It's a little tedious, but it's a little moment in the drawing process that I don't need to think. So I plan to do a whole bunch of illustrations in this green swamp theme. But they're not all going to be digital. One of my goals for 2026 is to do a lot more traditional art and start getting a little more confident in that area. Of I used to do it exclusively when I was young, and like a lot of us, just kind of got sucked into the digital world and never looked back until now, where I think with AI art and all that stuff. Sorry to bring that up. I just predict people, and myself included, are a little more interested in handcrafted things you can touch and feel, and it would be nice to do a piece of art and then at the end have something I can hold in my hands and sell to somebody else as well. That'd be nice. Rather than, spend a whole year doing a bunch of art and it just goes into a storage drive somewhere. I want my studio to be just covered in art, like it does have some up on the walls. And I mean my art, like not because I like staring at my stuff all day long, but I find it really useful, or used to when I did it, to have a painting, a work in progress, just sitting there, taunting me or like slowly revealing mistakes that I've made. Okay. Oh, nice. A little texture. I like it, but it might be a little heavy there. A little lighten it back up. Yeah, that texture is still a little too strong. Like, it looks cool on its own, but got to make it more subtle is all. Well, I don't know what the entertainment value of this live stream is. Hopefully, you're getting something out of it, and if I can get it to catch on a little bit and rebuild a little community of people watching and chatting, I do find that really fun, and I miss some of my old viewer friends. I don't really know what happened. I obviously just let the whole thing slide. You know, I used to have a Patreon, and I guess an active Patreon. It's still technically there. Um, I just started doing more work for companies. I can't show, so I can't live stream. So um, let all my social medias wither a little bit, which is okay. Yeah, but now that I'm thinking I want to build that kind of stuff back up, I don't know. The landscape's changing on me, and I'm getting old, and I don't want to keep up anymore. I feel like Instagram is on its last legs, unless they can turn it around somehow. YouTube seems to be pretty stable, so that's good. Who knows? Do a little bit more before I call it night. Do those weird antique cuffs he's got. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I want to do some pencil drawings, some more ink wash stuff, some pen and ink, maybe some mixed media, some acrylic, and I can apply this green filter to everything when it's done, no matter what medium it is. And it'll unify the whole look of the illustrations. I hope that's the plan. Yeah, and I want to turn it all into I don't know, a sort of guide to the swamp world that I'm sort of developing in my head with a friend of mine. We'll see how it goes. I just yeah, feel like I need to start working on something for myself. 'cause I was busy last year. You know, I worked the whole year. That's a good thing for an illustrator, you know. But didn't make a ton of money and just grinding for other people all day. Got to carve out some time and like I don't know, you know, make my own IP and make a product and sell it and have fun. Yeah, get a bunch of cool green illustrations under my belt. We'll see. Maybe I'll get real sick of that color scheme in like a month or two. But right now, I'm really liking it. I think it looks very cool. Hopefully, you agree. The green will, I guess, that represents the whatever force of the swamp, some kind of otherworldly influence on the realm, and anything that's not affected or little accent colors here and there will be this reddy brown. So basically, a whole book with two colors in it, and I think I can push that pretty far. That concept. Speaking of, let's make this green. There we go. I like his bright cuffs, but they gotta be a little darker. They're in shadow. Yeah, this is a little bit different than digital painting because I've already got everything locked in with the line work and the texturing and the shading. I don't need to be super accurate with the stage because it's all done for me already. You know, I'm just kind of popping things out. If we turn the line layer off, like it wouldn't read very well. You know, I'm not rendering it that accurately. I was gonna do that, but who cares? Just have to get the rendering in the ballpark, and I think it looks good enough. Well, more than good enough. This is a personal project. I'm aiming for as good as I can do. Another little dirty trick I'm doing is I'm going to reuse this background for some D&D commissions. So I'll be removing this guy from it and drawing everything behind him at some point so that they can put in their character here in the future. Do a lot of D&D commissions if you're not familiar, and you know, sometimes clients want a cool background, but you know, my fee doesn't. I don't want it to get too out of hand, so save the client some money and myself some time by having some pre-established background settings that we can plop their original character into. I have this whole world building idea in the back of my head, but truth be told, I don't really know how this guy fits in. You know, he's holding some weird incense burners or something like that. Trying to think what he actually does for a living. Some sort of fumigator. Maybe he like what do you call it? Like he smudges ghosts or something like that. Swamp ghosts. We'll go with that until I think of anything better. So I don't know if you can tell, but as the value gets lighter here, as I'm adding these little highlights, it kind of transitions into like yellows. It's all part of that gradient map I was talking about earlier. I set it up so that as things get brighter, they shift to yellow, and then not until things get really bright will they go to pure white. So I could do that here. And the other cool thing about that gradient map is it's sitting on top of everything. So if, you know, in a week or two I get a little bored of this color scheme or think of something better, It's non-destructive. I can change it at any time without undoing any of this work I'm doing right now. Because I'm really just working in black and white. The computer is doing the rest. Okay, I think that's enough for tonight. I started this pretty late on a whim, so I'm already pretty cooked. Yeah. Anybody watching? I don't know. A couple of people showed up. Thank you very much. And thanks to everyone who hopefully checks us out in the future. And hopefully, even more so, we'll fire this YouTube channel back up and I'll be a little more consistent. That's the plan. Still need to highlight these hands, but I'll do that next time. A lot of work still. I want to add like mist on the ground and some kind of I don't know, maybe little insects or something. Maybe he's a beekeeper. I don't know. We'll sort that out. Thanks again, and I hope to see you again in the future. Good night.